Hello my dear friends. Today I want to share about one subject which is so very important. Because after all, is our world. Our world is our mind. It means whatever we understand, we perceive, we see, we feel, everything is going through our mind. We decode, we can say, we get that information of the energy, and through the mind, through the structure of our mind, we get the experience, the understanding, everything. So it's so very important. Already I was remembering how Sri Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, that sacred teachings of Krishna. And he said, for the person whose mind is in a state of balance, in a state of peace, the mind is the best friend. It can be the best friend. And also, for in the mind that is out of control, out of balance, in a very bad state, is the worst enemy that we can have. That is it. Depends how is our mind, is our life, is our work. There is also a very beautiful teachings of Vashishta, who was the guru of Sri Rama. And it is written in one very beautiful book. Actually, that book is just part of the original book, which is the Yoga Vashishta. It's a very big book. So it is condensed. There is like a resume in one book, which is the world is in the soul. The world is in the soul. The soul, we can say in a way, is the mind, or the mind is one of the most important parts of the soul, because it's the structure that we can say mold that soul. So how is our world is how is our mind. In that sense, in many schools of yoga and spiritual schools, the main job that we have to do is to work in our mind. Work in our mind, make our mind, how Krishna said, in a state of balance. So through the mind we can get the experience of the reality, finally the reality what we are. This is one of the main things in all the schools of yoga. Work out in our soul, work out in our mind, to make the mind in the state of peace. One of the examples is when we achieve the state of thoughtless awareness, where mind stops. It's like a lake in a state of peace, and when the mind is stopped in that thoughtless awareness, we get the experience of the reality. But there is something quite funny, is that the real problem of the mind, why all the imbalances happen, why we accumulate all kinds of problems, false ideas, worries, everything. The main problem is who is in charge of the mind in us. Who is in charge of the mind? This is the main problem. We have to realize in the present state, most of us, the mind is in charge of one funny entity, which is false. And this is what we call ego. Ego is the idea that we are this soul, this human being, this person. This idea is absolutely false. It's just an idea. To feel, to believe we are individual beings separated from this world. In the world, it's a very big world, and there are so many entities around us. Every human being, every animal, different entities. And we are separated. This idea is the main cause of all the problems. Why? Why it creates problems? We have to understand. First, because it's false. It's not the reality of what we are. It's not. It's only one illusion. So it will create confusions because it's not the truth. And we base all the understanding of the mind. The mind is the ego is in charge of the mind, means all the understanding of the world, how we perceive through the mind, how we understand through the mind. The mind is like that filter, which is the soul, and it's always going to be there, always, while we are human, we are living in this world, we can say. We incarnated and we are in this world. All our understanding and our experiences will be through the filter of the mind, because the mind is there. But when the mind is in charge, when the ego is in charge of the mind, because that filter is controlled by the falsehood, it will start creating all the problems, starting from the beginning. We are individual beings, separated from the world. So we have to survive. We are limited. We are physical or emotional. And we need so many things to survive. Just to survive. We need food, we need place to be, we need so many things. We need people that love us, take care of us, is with us. We need so many things just to be fine. That is absolutely falsehood, because when we need so many things, we are going to suffer or struggle or worry till we have all that things that we believe we need. And that is what is happening in the world. Most of the people running after the money, because we need. Everyone running, but not just the people who are very poor, that almost doesn't have enough to eat, not them. No, running everyone. The people who has more than enough, the people who has a lot, and the people who has so much that will never spend that. They are running, everyone running, because we need and we want more. And the money in the beginning is just, to the survival, you can say, of the physical part. But after it's kind of like a running for power, because that money gives us that security that we are not having, as we are not enough, because we are individuals. And then the running for power is also another very important part of the ego, which is falsehood. Because we feel we are just individual beings. We are just individual beings. We are just small beings. We have to come up in between so many others. We have to rise. To rise, just not to be down, not to be, on the ground down. So we have to rise above others. We try to rise, and then start searching for power. Power to control our environment, to control our life, to control what happened to us, and finally to start controlling others. This is another essence of the ego. Start controlling the world and others. Is our mind completely in the hands of the falsehood of the ego, running and creating so many problems in us. It started with the needs, all the desires for things, or for energy, like we have desire, people love us, respect us, take care of us. If we are demands for energy, as if our energy is not just enough. And then all that creates fear, the ego. the nature of the ego. First is fear. Why? Because we are not eternal beings. We believe we are not. Our existence, our real existence here, which is not just the existence of the body. We close our eyes, we see, focusing that we are observing, perceiving, understanding, and then when we focus there, we realize we are. That existence you cannot touch. It's in the body. You cannot say it's here and not there. It's existence, formless. It's everywhere. That existence we cannot kill because we cannot touch. This is what Krishna also explained in the Bhagavad Gita. The spirit, our true being, that ocean of existence, cannot be burned with the fire, cannot be cut with the sword or the knife, cannot be killed, because cannot be touched. This is the reality. But because we live in that falsehood, the mind gets completely twisted with all these funny things, because it's the essence of the ego. And what happens when the mind is, we already start building that mind, this wall around the soul, around the mind. That wall is in the mind, because we perceive through the filter of the mind. The spirit is perceiving that, experiencing that. There is only a spirit. But through that false idea, I am this individual, and then through that filter, which is the mind, the soul. So what happened with our real state now? We are confused. We worry for the things. We have fears. And not only we are struggling and suffering, we don't love ourselves. We don't love others. It means that filter is completely, you can say, covered with dirt. Dirt that we have been building on the falsehood of the ego. So we build the structure of the mind, the structure of the ego, based in the beginning with the beliefs. The beliefs are, this should be like this should be like that, I should be like this, the world should be in that way, the other should be in that way, it should not be like this, I should not be like that. All that shoulds, how the world should be. We create that structure in the mind, in the ego. And based on falsehood, on the falsehood of the ego, of course, always remember that. So we build all that structure. Is the structure of the ego, is the structure of the mind, the soul. And then what happened with that thing? And with the problems that we have been creating in the mind, because all these desires, all this hankering for matter, for money, for power, the fears, all that start creating so many problems already inside that structures, in the filter. The filter gets close here and there and there and there. And then we see the world as crazy world. One world which is not a paradise. And in the cases where, how Krishna said, again we remember, when the mind is completely out of control, out of balance, it's like a hell. We live in the hell. And we cannot see that the reality is that this world is not a hell. The real world, not the world that is in our mind. The reality of the world is a paradise. The nature is a paradise. The life in itself is a paradise. The real energy of everything is just love, is a paradise. We are a paradise ourselves, because we are part of that existence, that nature, and that energy of love. And instead of seeing the paradise what we see is the hell. The life is a hell, with so many problems here and there. And we don't see the reality. And our filter, the filter of our mind, is completely not only closed that we cannot see reality, but full of problems that create conflicts in the energy. So there is, and now we come to a very important point. So there are two things which are very important and are so much connected, so much. One thing is that the structure of the mind, the structure of the world, we can say our world, our mind, that filter with the beliefs and the conflicts that are already there, and the so many ideas we build how everything is and how everything should be. So first is that the structures is the mind. But what is moving the structures? Because the spirit is only the pure existence, is just there. The spirit is just, we can say, observing that. Is the witness, is existence and witness and joy, yes. So, but what is moving all that? How we can move and live and understand and get all that experiences? How is that possible? It's through the energy. This is very important. The energy is the energy of the reality, which is the energy of God, which is the energy of our spirit, of that existence, which is only and just pure unconditional love. That love is the real energy in us, the reality. But what happened? The reality is, the energy is the one who make everything move. And when it flows through our soul and through our mind, we can perceive and understand. But what happened? The energy now is going through the filter of the mind. And the filter is not clean. It's not a transparent filter. It's not a mind in complete state of peace, without any reaction at all. So what happens is the energy goes through our filter, through our mind. And because the energy goes through the mind and finds so many conflicts, so many difficulties to flow, that energy, which is just pure love, gets completely twisted. And instead of feeling just love for everyone, what we feel is fear, hatred, or very, very limited love. It's not the real love that we have. The real love is just love that only loves and is not loving this object and not this object, this person and not this person. It doesn't love more few persons which are, our close ones, and not these ones which are very ugly ones, or the mind is judging negative. No, this is not real love. Loving my children, my friends, my family, and not the persons who hate me. This is not real love. This is limited love. Means the energy going through the filter of our mind, it cannot pass properly and only go in one direction, what the filter allows, according to the experiences we had, experiences we got in the state of illusion, when our mind was already controlled by the falsehood of the ego. So all the world that we have been building, all the world of our mind, of our filter, all the world that we have experienced, we are experiencing, that world is based in falsehood. So we have to understand, we know nothing. All this is an illusion. And we have to understand and be humble enough in our mind to realize we know nothing. Nothing at all. And we didn't achieve the reality. We didn't. As we are not experiencing the full reality of our true being, that is everything and everyone. They call it God. God is that ocean which is everything. Living, reflecting in every mind, in every soul, giving life to the soul. So, as we didn't achieve the experience of that, of the identification, not only experience, identifying ourselves as this is our only reality, and the other one is just an illusion. Okay, so first we didn't achieve anything. Second, we know nothing because that is based on falsehood. Of us as understanding us as a separate beings. And when we are humble enough to realize, I know nothing, I didn't achieve that still, I didn't identify myself completely with that ocean of totality. At that moment, you can start dropping the conflicts in the mind, the conflict that we have been creating, changing the structure of the mind, the structure of the ego, dropping all the beliefs, one by one, the good ones and the bad ones, dropping everything, and allowing that ocean to work by itself with unconditional love. The energy of love will flow without any restrictions. Yes, I still is going through the filter, but the filter has dropped all the limitations. So the love will flow without any conflict in the way. It will go still through the filter. Means that when the love, the energy flows through our soul, it flows through our mind. Still is a filter. Yes, because we are incarnated. As we are here, it's going through to go through the filter. And sometimes we might even fall down. Big why? Not just because the conflict is still in the mind, but because we are in a world surrounded by all kinds of minds, all kinds of souls, with all kinds of conflicts, every one of them. And we are permeable, we can absorb the energy around, and still, because the filter even is clean, but there was little tendency to go here down, it might go down for a moment. And that brings me to something very important. I saw the other day one chapter of The Chosen, which is a fantastic series of Jesus Christ, the life of Jesus Christ and the apostles. And Mary Magdalene, the disciple of Jesus Christ, at one point, she was following Jesus Christ, already going outside and completely enjoying that energy of divinity of Jesus Christ. At one moment, even she was really enjoying, and her mind, her soul was living that, we can say, moments of reality with Jesus Christ. But still, at what moment she fell down and went back to her old life. And then after she went back, the apostles, Jesus Christ and the apostles, to bring her back, she came back, and she was feeling so very guilty. And she was telling them, my Lord, because I don't deserve to follow you, because still I'm not that pure, and I fall down again. Despite I was with you, I fell down again. And Jesus Christ said, My child, I ask very little from you. I ask very little. I only ask for your heart, for your love. That's it. And you already gave me your heart. So this is the only thing I want from you, the only thing I ask from you. And then he said, and don't worry about making mistakes. Don't worry about making mistakes. At one moment, you won't make any more mistakes. When you are not here, when we are not in this world incarnated, we'll be free from the filter of the soul, of the mind, the filter of the soul. Free. It will be the pure spirit without that connection, we can say that filter, experiencing the reality what we are, enjoying the paradise without filters. So, why to worry about when we fall down so much? Yes, we have to try our best always, not to follow the path which is covering our filter, we can say our mind with dirt. We have to try our best. Try always our best, yes. Try to make our mind pure so we can see through the reality, yes. But don't fall down ourselves completely because we did a mistake and we could not. If we don't forgive ourselves, no one can forgive us. Because we have to forgive ourselves. It's the only way, one and once again, forgiving all the time. And that filter of the mind, slowly, in the real energy, which is the pure and unconditional love, pour from us to us, pour or allowing that real energy which is already in us. We are already the love of God. It's the only living energy inside. The Divine Mother is inside everything. It's the only energy anywhere. So when we allow that energy that is already there, contained, it is not being allowed to flow because of the filter of our mind. When we allow ourselves in compassion for ourselves, in love for ourselves, that energy to flow to our own filter, to be poured on all the problems of our filter, all the conflicts. That energy is the only energy that can really do the job, because there is no any other energy. It's only that original energy which is there, and at the moment we don't get it, we don't get the experience because of the filter. But we have to have compassion. Allowing that energy to be poured on ourselves means love ourselves unconditionally. Forgive ourselves once and once again and once again and once again. Because don't forget what Jesus Christ said. While we are here, we might fall down. Of course, I can tell you in my experience that you fall down very, very less when you realize what we are, or you approach that realization. You fall less and less and less. But we should not condemn ourselves. And this is the way also. Because you see, in the beginning we were feeling one of the problems of the ego, which is the one who is creating the conflicts in the mind, in the filter. The problems of the ego is that we want power on the world, on ourselves. And look at this. The ego wants to control. When you realize we know nothing, and because what we are is an illusion, that filter is an illusion, we will never achieve anything. you take away that hankering in your ego. I will never achieve anything. That looking for power of our ego, you take it away. You take away you can say, the tools that the ego has to grow and to impose. And when you feel just love and tolerance, compassion for yourself, then you have compassion for others, because the others are just like us. It's the way not to judge others, starting not to judge ourselves. And then, understanding that we can control nothing and the love is already here in every particle of the universe. The Divine Mother is just a mother, but a very, very pure mother. And is every single particle of energy in the whole universe, inside us, outside, in everything. And just like a child, you say, I know everything is going to be alright, and this is that energy is the energy, the only energy I need. The only thing I need, because in it is everything. Then all that hankering for needs, desires, you just drop it. So you take away another tool, you can say, of the ego to impose and control our mind. And when we surrender the ego in that way, slowly, bit by bit, trusting the love, is the love the one who is going to melt the ego? Is the love the one who is going to take charge of the filter of the mind, of the soul? The love and the being who is watching. And that filter, while we are humans, are for the use of God, for the use of that ocean of love and awareness. This is the meaning of the human being. Once you realize what it is in you, allowing that which is the totality to take over, to take charge of the soul, of all the filters of the mind, and do whatever in complete spontaneity, allowing everything to flow without that hankering to achieve, hankering to do, in full freedom, without any fear, because the being who we are, the real being, is only one, eternal and pure.